Hello, I'm Bood and welcome to Season 4, Episode 4 of Rebuilding Sheffield Wednesday. As always, thanks for joining me. Make sure you hit all the buttons, the good buttons, like the thumbs up and the sub button. And if you really want to help my channel out, you can always become a patron. That is massively appreciated. Links to that and some other things down below in the description. So, Season 4 is a bit more challenging this year. You'll see why. I had a plan. I always have a plan. I always say that. I didn't know if it's going to work. Some of it I'm forced to have to do. I felt a bit under pressure, obviously, because we had did a bit of money balling the previous year, scouting League One, picked up some good players, put together a team, no world stars or anything, but we put together a good team and we flirted with automatic promotion. Kind of went off the boil, didn't it? Do you remember? End of the year, got to the playoff final, which was fantastic, and lost. So I'm under a bit of pressure, I feel like, to achieve that again. But could I? Well, we'll see. Let's get into it. Well, it's now the 10th of August and all my signings are made, my squad's in place. And of course, we got to a playoff final last year, but the bookies have got zero faith in us and have predicted us to finish in 15th. The big boys, Bournemouth, got Sheffield United, so Derby's back. I was excited about that. Sheffield United got relegated. Blackburn are back down. Watford, West Brom, Cardiff, Hull. These are all big teams. Borough, Bristol, Stoke, QPR, Sunderland are up here. Got Forest. This is a tough league, and it's a challenge, this, because each summer I can go from having anywhere at one particular point in the summer to like having close to 20 to 30 million in the bank. They never give me that much money to spend, although we have improved the club. I've improved the training facilities twice, the youth facilities twice now, which is great. But I am fighting an uphill battle, really, trying to keep hold of my best players, trying to find little gems. It just doesn't always work out that way, and this season compared to last season might be a little disappointing transfer wise. So if you take a look at the ins and outs page, straight off you're going to notice one of my best players has left. Now, that was disappointing, but it kind of came at a good time, and I'll explain why. Because when it came to renewing some of my loans, and I wanted to renew especially my two wingers, Pedro and Brian, I didn't have the money. They wanted more money, as you can see, quite a bit of money in loan fees, and I didn't have the money. I had to let all my loans go, and I was a bit worried because there wasn't great players out there, really. Not that I've really fancied. And Brighton came in for Flynn, who is a brilliant player, really good player. One of the players I want to build a team around. Look how good he is for this level. Pissing me off, this. It's still pissing me off. And I said no. Anyway, he only had 1 year left on his deal, and he said, what I'm going to do is I'm going to check my options out at the end of the year. So basically he was going to leave on a free. So he offered him out, and luckily Brian came back in and gave me 8 million. Ben Thompson was a bit part midfielder. He said the same. I wasn't asked, and as you can tell, I only got 56 grand for him. Ollie Norburn, who came in as like the new captain, was because he was a solid midfielder. With Mcneil wasn't playing, so again I got rid of him. So I've lost 3 central midfielders, and that was it. But on the flip side of that, getting that 8 million allowed me to get the loans in. So we managed to get Pedro back and Brian back, and I've got some new ones. So let's just have a quick look. We've got Teo on loan from Crystal Palace, new left back. Ben Nelson, who's a promising centre half on loan from Leicester. Obviously Brian from Chelsea again, who was brilliant for me. Pedro, obviously, again on the left, who was brilliant for me. So I know these players, and I've signed Charlie Mcneil. If you don't know who he is, he's that kid who was at City Academy and left City to join United. He's been in the United Academy now a couple of years. He's coming in as a striker because Adam Ider didn't return. Now, he would have returned. So I went to apply to renew his loan, and the only way they would let me renew his loan is if I put in a mandatory £20 million future fee. So I had to basically sign him for the year later. We ain't got 20 million. Now, he scored an insane amount of goals for me last year. 32. That's going to be hard to replace, and I can't replace it. Charlie Mcneil's coming on loan. He ain't going to replace that. He's going to come in as a backup behind Patterson and Sammy. Sammy shared a lot of the first half of the season with Adam, scored a few goals. Remember, I signed him because he was a leading goal scorer in League One the year before. There's no one out there. There's no one out there I can afford. There's no one out there on loan that I fancied. Charlie Mcneil was the best. So I'm putting everything into Sammy this year. He's going to be my out-and-out striker. So squad-wise, it's exactly the same. We've dished out a few new deals. We've got the new 5 loans in, and I'm sticking to the 5, obviously, because you can only have 5, as you can see down there, in the matchday squad. So there's no point in having any more. Now, I did bring in some players as well to sort of replace the midfielders that have left. So if we say with Flynn leaving, I spent a couple of million, and we had a couple of million on the loan signings. I found myself a little regen. Aaron Morgan, 18-year-old, picked up on a free, 5-star potential. This was one of my scouts who told me about this one. Buzzing, because I always say this, I think the game comes alive once you've played a few years and regens start popping up and you can start picking up players like this. Like, he's not a wonder kid or anything, but I think you look at the framework of him as a player, he could be fantastic, and the fact he's worth a minimum of 7.8 million is absolutely brilliant. Could be the future of the club, and yeah, hopefully we can find more of these kind of players going forward over the next few years. Ben Thompson left. I've got Mads Bistrup on a free. Guy from Brentford who I'd never used on my Brentford series, but again, for a free, he's better than Ben, so that's pretty good. And then obviously we lost 3 midfielders. Ollie Norburn left, so let's try and remember where he is. I'll show you in a sec. I'm not very organised. I've been poorly, to be fair, and I still pretty much am. It's Damian Thompson, one of our own, possibly the best players come through our academy since I've been here. Not a world beater. He's going to come in as like the 6th midfielder and help the team out. Now, you might also notice, if I do that, I've already got a team set in stone there, and if I show you, I do this quite often. It's my A team, right? My plan this year was, because you could possibly say it's the same team, mainly the same loans. We'll see how the new left back does. We're relying on Sammy, who isn't as prolific as Adam Ider, so are we going to score as many goals? I don't know. So my plan was basically to have that A team set in stone and play them. Whenever I can play that team, play them. That's who I think is my best team. Just play them. And then, hopefully, we'll link up more and more and more, and maybe we can push through not having as much quality by being a team. Do you know what I mean? And then, obviously, give guys a game elsewhere when I can in cups or whatever. But I really want to get back into them playoffs. I felt really under pressure with it. But like I said, we've improved the training and the youth twice, and they've just been completed for the 2nd time. So we've got great training now, good youth recruitment. And the youth players aren't too bad. I mean, I did sell a few off in the first year or two. Now I don't want to. I'm hoping we can bring some through. Like I said, the money's all right. It ended up like nearly 20 odd million last year, and then 20 odd million this year. But you don't get a ton of it to spend, and obviously I've spent every penny I could. And it goes. That's the trouble. We get investments, we get our season tickets, you get payments from the Premier League or whatever you get. You get lots of income coming in. But by the end of every year, I'm in the red. I don't know how many years you could do this for. You need to get in the Premier League, don't you? We need that Premier League money. Nicky Butt, my assistant. This game is a funny old game. Wait till later on in the season, honestly. Now, of course, I feel under pressure because we got to a playoff final. But the board aren't putting that pressure on me. They're just looking at mid-table. But I really want to kick this series on. So I'm hoping for big things this year. Even though we're not full of stars again and possibly weaker. Lost a great midfielder, we replaced him with a kid. Can the kid perform? Lost a great striker, not really been able to replace him. We're going with the guy we've already got. So yeah, it's going to be an interesting year, hopefully. A team bond we don't have just yet. I mean, these two know each other from last year. Obviously, he's going to be my main man this year instead of Flynn, the lad we got from Derby last year, who knows Taylor, who's a cracking player. I mean, Taylor's a good player. That's what I'm gutted about Flynn going. Because with Belek as well, is it Balek? He's a good player. And with Flynn, we'd be laughing. We've got an 18-year-old with promise. And then Sammy. We'll see. We scored a lot of goals last year. I was hoping I could do it again. Let's get into it. I feel like I'm dragging my feet. Well, I like to lure you in sometimes. I'll be honest with you. I didn't think by the 1st of January, though, I'd be doing as well as I was doing. I mean, it's close still. And I'll be honest with you, is it always going to stay this way? No, but it's very positive. It's a great foundation for the second half of the season. Top of the league, only lost 3, drawn 7, won 14. Team bond can get you to anything. And look at it, you can see, look at them link-ups now already. I mean, a few of these guys are tired, but I can't lie, it was a lot of fun. So let's take a look at the league, and it didn't start too great. I drew my first game. and I got beat, and I'm thinking, fuck, yeah, this is great. Then we beat Sheffield United in a derby, which, it's a derby, very important for the fans. I'm sure they enjoyed that. But then I drew, and got absolutely spanked off Birmingham, and you're like, this is not looking good, right? We're in a bit of trouble, but let's fight on through. Fight on through we did by beating Forest, Wimbledon, Forest Green, Stoke, Barnsley, drawing with Blackburn, who've just got relegated, Cardiff, West Brom. I mean, this is starting to pick up some points, some momentum. Then I've only just been beat by Huddersfield because of all the rest of them. We've not been beat. Just beat QPR 2-0. So they really started to click. I don't know. It's hard to explain sometimes. I don't know if it's what it is, how we can go through little bad patches and then one result can kick us on. I've had a lot of that this year on FM22, but yeah, in the minute, you wouldn't have thought it with the way things started, but we're top of the league. So, of course, I am just sticking with that A team as much as possible. Brian is up there with 10 goals on the right-hand side. To be fair to Sammy, he stepped up, got me 14 goals in 22 games. I'm very pleased with that. If he can keep that form up, he might end up scoring more than Adam Hyde. So, yeah, that was a big worry of mine. To lose a 30-odd goal a season striker and not be able to replace him. Are we really going to get back to where we were last year? But, we've got every chance. And, I mean, there's guys who are unhappy. There's a couple of guys whose contracts are going to come up to an end. 2 absolute legends, contracts are coming up to an end and they won't sign one. One is Che Dunkley, who, he's been great, but he's 32. And the other one is an absolute legend, Liam Palmer, who will be leaving at the end of the year. He don't want to stay. He won't sign a new deal. Although I keep trying, but he's not playing. And at the end of the day, I've got players that I think can play better right now. He's old. Do you know what I mean? So it's sad, but times change. So there's going to be some changes at the end of the year. What changes, I don't know. So I've now jumped forward to the 20th of May. It's the end of the season-ish. It's the end of the league season, and we finished 4th, right? Which is great. But again, we flirted with the top. It's been a bit of an up and down situation, but 4th is better than last year, because last year we went from like 3rd to 6th, didn't we? So that's an improvement in the league. And maybe it was a bit of false hope when I showed you the halfway point in January when we were top, because I didn't think. I think it just caught us at a good moment there to jump in at, because we just weren't consistent enough to maintain that at all. I mean, if you look at the results, you can see it's just too patchy. Again, a decent run of form, getting beat off Barnsley is not great. Battering Stoke was a great result though, to be fair. And then it's like patches like this where you're just throwing any chance of automatic promotion away, and then you go on a run like that. We'll just be shit for 5 games and then win 4 games and then be shit for the end of the season. We did win the last game of the season 2-0. Sheffield United we drew in the second Steel City derby, so undefeated against United, which is pretty cool. And you can see some of the other results there. I've not showed them yet. I'm trying to save time because obviously we've got a lot to do. So if we have a quick look while we're here, EFL Cup, Barrow beat, Blackpool beat, got knocked out by Brighton. A B team then, but I went for the Brighton game, I think. No, I didn't. A B teamed it. Yeah, well done. Crystal Palace beat them 2-1. Crystal Palace in the 3rd round. Then I beat QPR 2-1 in the 4th round. Then we beat Watford 4-2 in the 5th round. I'm thinking, FA Cup special. No, got beat off Chelsea 4-1. So, cups weren't too bad. We tried. We had a bit of money because we need that money. Because we're goddamn skint. We're skint. 7. This is the biggest in the red I've been at the end of the season. I mean, I know my wage budget creeps up a little bit. But man, that money leaves. But then you've also got to think, I've made signings, over the last couple of years where I've put that money on into the future. So that starts chipping away at your budget, starts chipping away at your balance, and starts putting that pressure on you to get in the Premier League freaking quick sharp. So it's on to the playoffs, and I think I'm going to try and fit everything in again and try and do what I did in the last episode, where we maybe jump into this first game, which is going to be away at Middlesbrough. I'm sure the last 10 minutes of that, maybe see how the second game goes. It all depends on how things play out, really. And then if we get to a final, fantastic. So when it comes against our head-to-heads with Borough, we beat them the first time we came into the Championship. Look at that. That's pretty cool. Yamalenko. But then this year, we've not been able to beat it for a while. We've drawn 1-1 and 1-1. We need to be changing that, don't we? So like I said, I'm going to start playing this now, and we'll jump in for the last 10 minutes just to save me some time. Bit worried though, because my top class right back, Iorfa, isn't fit, so Mitch Clark's coming in. He's not been bad this year as a backup. Liam Palmer is going to have to play at left back. He's played quite a lot this year, to be fair. He's been like that spare defender all over the back line. He's going back to Scotland. See you, Jimmy. And signed for Motherwell. He's 33, so this is a nice little swan song for him. Hopefully, he can help us get to the Premier League. Right, I'm going into the last few minutes. It's been a battle, to be fair. That bloody penalty we've just given away was annoying. Their goal, Sammy lost the ball up top. They got us on a counter and scored. About 20 minutes later, a great move from us, and Sammy scored at the other end. And obviously, we gave away the penalty, so it's 2-1 in the first leg. But we're taking them back to Hillsborough, and we're going to live com that. Can we get through it? Come on, the Owls. But before we get into the second leg of the playoffs, Nicky Butt left. No one wants to stay as my assistant. Me and Nicky were like this. We were solid at Brentford. And obviously I brought in an assistant, ex-Leicester Celtic assistant, who left me after 6 months to become a scout at West Brom, I think. And I brought Nicky in. Now Nicky's buggered off to become head of youth development at Cardiff, and I got a little news thing saying, "Oh, great replacement! This great idea for a replacement for your assistant." Yeah, Chris Davis. I thought, well, the guy who left me last time. To be fair, he was the best option out there. Couldn't find anyone better. Offered him the deal. He said yeah. So Chris, who left me after like fucking hell, it wasn't even that long, really, was it? To become a scout at West Brom, has now come back for a second stint as my assistant. It's a funny old game, football. Welcome to Hillsborough. Now, again, this is my A team. This time, Iorfa is back. He recovered from his knock. My normal left back is suspended. Suspended for the last leg, suspended for this leg. So Palmer has come back in, but he's done a good job. He's a good player. He's a freaking legend. We need a big result here, though. A big freaking result. Come on, boys. So we go, kick off at Hillsborough. The lads can do it. The lads have always got a big performance in them. They're a solid team. I mean, Palmer's played that much. He's even got a link up with the left winger, Pedro Vega, on the left. So the team's still linked up with Palmer in it. Like, everyone's locked in. They just need to work as a team and do well. But anyway, thank you for all the great well wishes I've had for the new job. I've been keeping you updated through this series. But sometimes I think when a job's too good to be true, it genuinely is. So I grew up with this lad for years who's put me forward for this job. Not seen him for years. He was in the army. Go on, Sammy. Go on. Oh, go on. Let's see what happens here. Iorfa. No, go on. He's going to get it back in. He's going to get it back in. He's going to pass it back to Morgan. Morgan drills it in. Oh, for God's sake. And he's sure, he knows I've got a bad back. He knows why I went on the buses. And he made it sound dead simple. You get paid a load of money. You come in, your van's loaded up. You go and deliver some bread. You go home. Oh, that sounds like really good. What am I doing on the buses? I might as well give it a go. I'd be stupid not to. So obviously I applied. I had a Zoom interview. Then I went in and had a proper interview. And then I had to go in and do this driving assessment and learn more about the job. So I went in, did the assessment, fine. But I'm working with the other guy, and the other guy's not sugarcoating anything. He was telling me the job in full detail. And there's driving hours on HGV and working hours. When I go on the buses, I go in, do my job, I go home. Here, there's stuff to do beforehand. There's a ton of stuff to do after. It's a 40-hour week. For my interview, they were saying I was starting at 4, which was bad enough. But they changed it to 3 already, and I'm like, why are you changing that already? That's not cool. I have to go to bed at like 7 o'clock. That's not cool. It's 40 hours a week I have to do. I have to forced overtime, or you're frowned upon, which is a bit annoying. So you can do 55 hours a week. So I started doing the math, and it works out because I'm very well paid on the buses. I mean, some people think you're not, because a lot of bus companies don't. But I work for a very big bus company, and we're the highest paid bus drivers pretty much in the country, right? We just got a new pay rise, fought for it, nearly went on strike. It was in the papers, you might have seen it. I worked it out, I'd be on 50p an hour less. I was like, if I wanted to work 40 hours a week, I'd earn more money on the buses in a job I know like the back of my hand, where I'm one of the top dogs. I've been there years. I'm staying where I'm staying, so I turned it down. I thought, I'll sack that. I mean, and randomly, like a day later, I've gone in and they decided to bring out this new rota next year in January, where you finish at 5, you get weekends off, Monday to Friday. It's a specific rota for guys who've been there ages that I'm one of the guys who can apply for, and I'm like, that's perfect for me. I will see my kids more. I will have weekends off. I'm doing that instead. So yeah, I'm staying on the buses, and if anything, it's inspired me to apply for the mentor course, which is I get paid even more money to train drivers and pass my knowledge on. So my job ain't that bad. It has its mad moments, I can tell you, but it's got a lot of easy moments. I mean, lots of easy moments on the buses. So yeah, I think I'm institutionalised. I'm a bus driver. I'm staying where I am. I mean, I've only got to stay there another 3 years, and I get a fancy golden badge I can put on my tie for 10 years service. Anyway, first half, it's 0-0. We need a couple of goals here, boys, don't we? Is it going to be our year? Are we going to be like a Brentford? Always nearly men, pushing. I mean, it'll give the series a bit of longevity, because I am not quitting until we get to the Premier League. Right, come on, lads, let's get a goal here. Right on the death of the first half. Taylor whips it in, and they get it out. Morgan's going to pick it up. Be a cracking player, that kid. £5 million, well spent. And anyway, it's half time here at Hillsborough. It's 0-0. We are way the better team, but we've got to get that ball in the back of the goddamn net. Let's go, Owls. Let's go. I'm gonna do the classic, demand some more. I mean, what do you use out of these? I use demand more and encourage and praise sometimes. Now and again when I'm spitting my dummy out and I'm getting beat off fucking Birmingham 6-1. Is it berate them? I might berate them just because I can. But anyway. Yeah. I mean, this will I be gutted if we don't get to a final? Yeah. But I still think we've had a good season. I think not having Adam Iden, I mean, Sammy stepped up pretty well this year. It's interesting. It's a lot of fun. The not knowing who's going to be available to me next year. What am I going to be able to do? But we've got some good solid players here that hopefully aren't going to leave me like Flynn Downs. I'm gutted about that. Gutted. And yet, I mean, they really wanted him. They made him turn his head. They made him not want to sign a new deal. They came back in for him for $8 million. And he's played about 3 games. If he'd have stayed here, they'd been playing every freaking week. Oh, for fuck. I've completely changed it up. We've changed that formation. I use it quite a lot this year where I go 3 at the back. And I've wing backs, so I've been Clark and Sauber on. Patterson, though, he's coming on as an AMC behind Sammy. It works sometimes. It's got me back into a few games this year. I just felt like we needed a bit of a change. We'll see, though. I know it's always a bit risky, yeah, I think. You completely change your formation completely, but we'll see. Come on. Oh, for God's sake. It's Clark. Come on, let's get a goal. Patterson. Fed it through to Sammy. Beautiful control. He's going to... Caught him up though, and he's stuck behind a wall of red, and he's getting chased into the corner. He don't know what to do, but he's found Thomas. Thomas whips it in to Clark. Clarky, come on, he's kept it in play. Come on, Clarky. Fuck's sake. Well, it's finished 0-0. Here at Hillsborough, we've been beaten 2-1 in aggregate, even though we were way the better team. We just couldn't get that ball in the back of the net. Yeah, there's like my second formation. I think he did really well towards the end. I think we played a bit better with that, to be honest. Might be worth seeing how that works as a whole campaign, but there's a lot of positives from this year, but that is disappointing. It's disappointing, isn't it? But this is the final table, and Middlesbrough, who finished a point behind us, obviously beat us, went on to win the playoff final, beating QPR. Obviously Forest won the league. They've gone up with Watford. One bonus, I think, is that Sheffield United are ahead of us. They should be. They only just came down and they finished in 9th, so at least we finished above our arch rival. If you're a Wednesday fan, I apologise. You know, I do quite well in this game a lot of the time, but this is a battle, and some of you have even told me about your Wednesday saves, and you're doing better than me. You know, we all play the game differently, so I am not giving up. The minimum aim is to get in the Premier League and at least spend a season in the Premier League before we even consider finishing it. But we've got another battle on our hands. But you know, the bookies don't rate us on this game, but I rate my squad. I really, really do. But again, there's going to be a few changes in the summer. What changes? I don't know what kind of changes, because you never know, but I'm ready for that battle again. And like I said, I'm off now, and for the next 3 days, my oldest son's at school, my youngest son's at nursery, my wife's at work. I've got a lot of time on my hands and nothing else to do, so I'm going to bash through this next season as quick as possible and bring you the next one as soon as I can. Bit of investment and that debt's gone, but it's probably our weakest summer now. It's starting to really hurt us. I feel like each year we're staying here, we're doing all right, but I'm getting less and less finances, really. So again, it's going to be tough. I mean, 1.6 million, I ain't buying any stars there unless I sell someone. And I don't want to have to sell someone like a Flynn Downs unless my hand is forced, like with the sale of Flynn Downs to Brighton for 8 million. So there we go, that is the end of the 4th season. I still think we're doing well, even though, you know, in some ways, I think we improved on last year. In some ways, we definitely punched above our weight, and in some ways, we didn't do as well as last year because we couldn't get to the final. And I'm in the championship for another year. But do you know what? I'm really enjoying it. I really enjoy playing it. I love the restraints on me, and each year just battling away and seeing what we can do. But you never know. Next year might be our year. We just need to be a bit more consistent. Majority of this team will stay together. I need to do me magic in the transfer market. A bit of money ball again. I mean, I've never scouted League One so much on any other save, and I think I might be able to pick up a good player or two here or there. Good freebie here or there. We'll see. Thank you. I love you long time. I'll see you pretty soon with this one. Swear down, I've not got any other saves on the go. A few experiments, but they don't take much time. I'm going to boss it, get back to you with episode 5 as soon as I can. So thank you. Stay happy, stay safe, and booed. Bye-bye.